Long overdue horse goes from being really long like this to this in a matter of minutes. Stick around to the end of the video to see the process of how this horse gets trimmed up by Bodie Trnka and Chris Madrid, building some handmade Tool and Fullered Sidebone horseshoes. Alright everybody, you can kind of see that this horse is pretty long and overdue. This horse is actually overdue by 3 weeks on its regular shoeing schedule. And you can tell by its conformation that when it walks up, it's very toed in and has a pretty good flare to the medial toe, and the lateral side wants to just break off. The right front had actually chipped up and broken off a little bit of the excess length, but the left front stayed intact, and there's a lot more foot that had to be trimmed off by Bodie Trnka. Bodie Trnka shod the left front, and Chris Madrid did the right front.
Get up in there all nice and deep line.
Stick around to the end of the video to see the transformation between this long, overdue horse's foot into a working piece of art. And you may ask, why Tool and Fullered Sidebone shoes? Well, this horse gets along pretty well with regular sidebone shoes in the past, discovered by Chris Madrid, and we were actually preparing for the World Championship Blacksmiths World Championship up at Spruce Meadows in Calgary, Canada in September. And one of the shoeing classes is actually a Tool and Fullered class where it's hunter fit on a front foot. So we figured, why not try and just do Tool and Fullered on the front and make it a sidebone shoe. So they basically ran the section through the block, and then halfway at the center point, they just flipped the block and reversed the section, so that way it creates the roll and the bevel that is normally made through a sidebone shoe. Wait to see at the end how awesome it turned out. So here at this stage, Bodie has nipped off about as much hoof wall as he wants to, and he's going to start rasping the hoof wall kind of into, he's looking at the white line and the relation of the hoof wall thickness, trying to gain even wall thickness and trying to gather this foot up so he can get it to a point that he can bring it to the peg and start top dressing it. It's an interesting thing when horses' feet can get this long and you think, how on earth can they get to that point and then get back to a point where they need to be? Well, if you understand the anatomy of a horse's foot, you can actually gather it up and trim it up into a really nice foot. And this horse's feet overall are shaped to be really nice. And if you understand that, you can actually trim that foot into something that's going to be nice and easy to fit up with your horseshoe and overall make it very appealing. So looking at the hoof wall and the white line there, you can see even wall thickness all the way around, and there's not a ton of distortion going on between the white line there. So it's a work of art to be able to transform a really long foot like this into a nice shape and something that's going to be really appealing and comfortable for this horse to wear. So now what Bodie's going to do is he's going to top dress it with a rasp on the peg, and you can see the bevel that he's put in there from the bottom using his nippers and his rasp, and he's going to rasp the top line all the way down to the bottom line until that bevel is gone. That's the hoof wall that needs to be taken away, that has distorted and overgrown just in a matter of 3 weeks being overdue. So you just rasp until that bevel's gone, and then you've gathered your foot up to the point and have it trimmed to where it should be.
Just figured I'd knock a little off. You shot this horse before, haven't we, buddy?
I've never shot it.
No shit.
Generally, when trimming up horses' feet, if you can find the true apex of the frog and define that, then you can determine the depth of the foot and how much sole needs to come out. So Chris is going to start off by trimming up that frog, so then he can determine where the apex is and then go into the point of knifing out the excess sole that needs to come out.
See, she's good. She's about habit. We'll just get a little bit more. Give it to you. You just finish this nip there.
Now at this point, you can see Chris is going to basically repeat what Bodie had did. He had used his nippers and nipped away the excess hoof wall, and then he came in with his rasp, and now he's starting to gather up a shape of the foot so then he can bring it to the peg and top dress the excess flare off. All while doing this, you're also trying to make that foot flat so that when you get ready to fit up your horseshoe, that it's going to be an easy fitting process, because you want the foot to be flat as well and not be unlevel. So he's going to come in with his rasp, and he's just leveling it up little bits at a time, trying not to gouge it out and make any high or low spots. And he's going to finish it up on the bottom before bringing it to the peg and top dressing the foot. And here on the right hind, we have an Ireland farrier, Paul O'Reilly, who has moved here to the States and now officially shoes horses in Florida. He's going to be trimming up the right hind of this horse and giving it a plain stamp horseshoe. I trimmed up the left hind, but we don't have any video of that because I did the work and I wasn't able to record myself, unfortunately. So enjoy some clips of Paul O'Reilly trimming up the right hind.
halter horses?
Oh my god.
You'll
dude,
use it on those
that's
ones.
like the worst.
Used to do a little farm of them in Kentucky. Dreaded it. Used to ruin the whole week.
You have to go on there, huh?
Oh man. Just so muscle bound and
Oh god, the way it's gonna be.
is it a bit weird?
I just thought you weren't gonna dust the outside.
Yeah. The way it's gonna be, I thought he was gonna go full English and leave it.
Hang shoe under it.
I feel across the road. That's where it should be anyway. Otherwise, you fucking trim it that way, then you can.
So you forge the bearing surface to the center. Bearing surface to the center. And you put your angle. And you forge your bearing surface to the center. To the center. Let it safely.
Oh man. Somebody's feeling their oats today.
Oh shit. Try and squeeze a nail in there.
Set it down.